Screw that shit up. Screw that up. There you go. There you go. Screw that shit. Hey, yo. You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Actually, yes, you do. Yes, you do. To talk all things pro wrestling. It's National Toothpick Day. That's what BC is declaring it. Get a toothpick and you walk your ass around the fucking world today with that toothpick. Don't be afraid to throw it in somebody's fucking mug. Hey, Chico. Here we go. I'm going to throw the first one. Ready? Lead by example, BC. I'm going to throw the first one. Hey, yo. There you go. Yeah, you like that. Did it fucking flick? There's another one. Yeah. You guys got the first flick on National Toothpick Day. Fuck yeah, man. Salute to Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, man. We had a night to try to think about this shit. How just crazy it all is when you think about the 72 hours that we've had, man. It started on Smackdown with Big E breaking his neck. And while it was good to hear that he didn't need surgery, it was horrible to hear that it was a C1 fracture, because that's not good. And that usually does not form correctly afterwards. So easily can be career ending for Big E. We found that out. Well, it happened on Friday, and then we spent the weekend kind of catching up on all the Big E news, which was fucking painful, because if it wasn't for Big E putting out videos himself, we wouldn't really know too much. And then all of a sudden, Sunday, while we're talking about all this Big E shit, man, Sunday we hear that Scott Hall had that, he fell, he broke his hip, he had surgery, there was a blood clot, led to 3 heart attacks, he's on life support. I mean, that was a horrible fucking Sunday. And then Monday, we find out that we lost Scott Hall. So we didn't even have a moment to comprehend what the fuck happened to Big E, because Scott Hall then leaves us. And then if you want to just talk the wrestling aspect, SmackDown and Raw, the WrestleMania picture is ever more clearer after this weekend, and it is one hot mess. WrestleMania is a hot mess. I mean, you got Alpha Academy about to join Private Party, Street Profits, and RKBro. It's going to be a triple threat schmoz, it looks like, for the tag titles. And on the women's side, it's already a triple threat tag schmoz, but it looks like it's going to be a fatal 4, because they're going to add in Rhea and Liv are already in. They're going to add in Shayna Baszler and Natty. So expect that by Friday. And then you have Damian Priest, who should have been taking on probably Finn Balor at Mania, but no, they're having their rematch last night, and he's beating the champion Finn Balor. Now, that's probably just to get another match at WrestleMania, like we need to see it a 6th time. And then you have Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins fighting over who gets to interview Stone Cold Steve Austin. I want to say that again. Please comprehend how stupid this WrestleMania is sounding. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens are fighting over who's going to interview Stone Cold Steve Austin, because they just can't get a Mania spot. Meanwhile, Logan Paul is just like, hey guys, what are you guys doing Mania week? Oh, you're catering? I'm going to have a match. I got to go train. Logan Paul is like, check you later. John Knoxville is riding around in his golf cart. You're looking at Rollins and Owens and going, hey guys, I hope you watch my match at Mania. Pat McAfee even has a match at WrestleMania. Owens and Rollins are fighting over who gets to interview, not fight, not take on, not have a match. Who gets to interview Stone Cold? That doesn't sound like a fucking silly dumb fuck McGee type of situation, a booking botch that I wouldn't want nothing to be a part of. It's fucking horrendous when you really think about what is happening with this WrestleMania card. I just went over fucking one half of it. WrestleMania has turned into a hot mess. We'll get to that. Last night, we did the first hour of Raw live reaction. So go catch that on the channel. The last 2 hours of Raw, that's what we're going to go over in this live stream. I took my notes. I did my due diligence. There was no Cody. No Cody. Now everyone's... We keep moving the bar, right? Now it was Jacksonville because that makes sense. It's AEW territory. But he didn't show up in Jacksonville. So now people are going, well, Chicago maybe. Chicago next week, right? Chicago is a hotbed for AEW. Cody loves Chicago and that crowd and the reaction that he gets. Chicago is where Raw is coming from. I believe next week Raw is in Chicago. Everybody now is saying, well, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense because at that point you are literally 12 days away from Mania. 12 days. You're going to build a fucking storyline with one Monday Night Raw to go after that? I mean, the match will speak for itself, but you still want some fucking story, don't you? So Chicago is too late. So then the only other alternative is he shows up at WrestleMania. He shows up at WrestleMania and does what? The same thing he could have done in Jacksonville this past Monday last night? Is he going to show up and beat up Seth Rollins? Is he going to show up and beat somebody up? Is he going to have an impromptu match? And now he's fighting for headlines with 27 other headlines. Cody needs to be his own headline. He should have debuted on a Monday Night Raw leading up to one of the biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. You don't have somebody like Cody show up at Mania. That is dumb as fuck. WrestleMania usually has a bunch of headlines. Whether they're grand or not, that's in the eye of the beholder. Cody Rhodes should not be contending or competing with other headlines. 26 other headlines. This was simple. Rollins has nothing. You're in Jacksonville. If Cody is under contract, if WWE does indeed have Cody, then last night was the time to do it. Nobody's trying to have Cody fucking... People, 4 hours Saturday, 4 hours Sunday. People are going to be tired. People are going to be like, what the fuck? That's when you're going to bring Cody out? Bro, that does not sound right at all, bro. That does not sound right at all. And if you do have him and you don't want him in Jacksonville last night or Chicago next week, then just keep him off. I don't need to see him at WrestleMania. You might as well save him for the Monday Night Raw after Mania then. It's going to be the same fucking thing. He'll have a bigger headline if he shows up after Mania. Because I'm telling you, he's going to get lost in the shuffle with the big women's title matches, the Roman and Brock shit. WWE alone will push the Cody debut at WrestleMania aside. Because Roman is Vince's boy, man. They're going to pump up 17 other things. Cody will get a little bit of time after Mania about his big Mania debut. Do not have this guy show up at WrestleMania. That is bad for Cody. That is bad for the company. It's bad for the fans. It should have been last night. Chicago is too late. If you want to do it, best of luck. At this point, if he is under contract, you might as well just save him to after Mania. I don't get why they botched this last night. They were in fucking Jacksonville. You can't screw that up, dude. And you only had 19 days from last night. Right now, it's 18 days. 19 nights away from Mania. You only had 2 more Monday Night Raws. You needed Cody to show up last night. But they didn't. They're probably waiting for Chicago. They're probably going to do Chicago where there's 12 nights left and only 1 Raw. And if he doesn't show up in Chicago, watch this motherfucker debut at WrestleMania. I'm all for shocks at pay-per-views. I'm all for surprises and debuts, no doubt. But this Cody thing is sitting in your lap. Rollins doesn't have a match. Just let's rock. Let's have a 20 fucking some-odd minute fucking classic. Cody Rollins. Let the arena be electric. But you have to start building that, right? We're only 18 days away, bro. I don't know, man. At this point, just save them till after Raw. But WrestleMania is a fucking hot mess. The big debut everybody was hoping for last night or ready for anyway. I don't know if people would rather him in WWE or AEW, but people were waiting for that. All the hints were being dropped, but Cody doesn't even show up. We end the show with Rollins and Owens fighting over who gets to interview Stone Cold. Does that not sound stupid to you? 2 really good wrestlers arguing, fighting, and wrestling over who's going to interview a past legend. This whole thing was stupid. It doesn't even make sense that Rollins would want to do that. Rollins has a better fucking chance being in the front row camera side or opposite camera side. He'll have more TV time at the pay-per-view. Just buy a ticket, front row, man. Scalp that shit off of somebody, and you'll have more TV time. You'll be more of a presence. Anyway, Mania's a hot mess. Scott Hall, I'm going to get to. Big E, also in this cold open, man. Big E, I touched up on it a little bit. Big E, his fracture is the C1 and what was it? C4 maybe? C3, C4? I forgot exactly. Maybe C6. Maybe he went from 1 to 6, which is a crazy concept because you're starting at the top of your cervical spine and you're going to the lower part of the neck. I mean, that's a crazy break when you think about it. He's going to be able to walk again more than likely because he works out and he has big muscles and he was able to sustain that fucking hit. But C1 and C6, yeah, a lot of you guys told me 6. So C1, C6. Now, the good news is he didn't need surgery. That's awesome. The bad news is that C1. C1 is what every doctor will tell you. That's where you see the most death or paralysis usually. Thankfully, that's not Big E. He pulled through that from the cusp, from the jump. But that's where you see the most tragic of incidents, right at the C1, the top of that neck. Now, what happens if you don't need surgery, right? You're going to let that thing heal. That's awesome. Unfortunately, that C1 usually does not heal properly. It's disformed when all is said and done. That is the big issue that Big E is going to have to now contend with. The first step here is just walking again. After that fucking landing on his head and how sickening that sounded and looked, him walking again is by the grace of the fucking Almighty. That's awesome. However, if you're thinking about him wrestling again, I would not get that far ahead of yourself. I would not be shocked if he never wrestles again because that C1 is very, very hard to heal properly. And that sucks because Big E is somebody I really enjoyed watching, man, and I just felt so bad that he was even in the position he was in just a few weeks before Mania. At that point, it was about 21 nights away, 3 weeks, and this guy had nothing for WrestleMania. He was a champion at the start of the year, but that was only to get fed to Roman Reigns and then drop it to Vince McMahon's Brock Lesnar. And then he quietly went over to the Blue brand, no explanation, no reasoning, goes back into his tag team with Kofi. And that was that. And then he gets injured playing around with Ridge Holland. That's what pisses me off. It's not so much Ridge Holland. I get it's not ballet. I do believe he needs to be retrained because what happened with Gargano was the first step. Then he had about 10 more fucking botches since. And then we're right back to dropping people on their head. So I'm not going to sit here and kick Ridge Holland when he's down, but he absolutely needs to be retrained. We all can admit that. He's not rotating on anything. That's a problem in pro wrestling. You're going to drop more people on their head. And the next time it might not be great news or even good news. So I'm not going to kick Ridge Holland when he's down. It's not ballet. Accidents happen. I get it. But he needs to be retrained. These aren't just accidents when it happens 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Johnny Gargano is lucky. He's fortunate that he's walking today. Because how Ridge Holland dropped Johnny Gargano on his head, he never rotated. He never rotated that power slam, man. You cannot do John Gargano, a wrestler of that caliber. You can't do him dirty like that. But it's not so much Ridge Holland, bro. I'm pissed off that Big E was even in that situation, playing around in a fucking tag team, having a match with Ridge Holland weeks before Mania when he should be involved in something huge. That's what's pissing me off, man, is just thinking about how we even got to the point where Big E got dropped on his fucking dome piece. Big E has not been the same since he went to the Blue brand and has been bouncing around and juking and jiving his hips with Kofi again. He hasn't been the same. That smile isn't the same. He said in multiple interviews he wished his title reign went differently. That wasn't his fault that it went awry. Vince did not give him proper booking because his name is not Roman Reigns and his name is not Brock Lesnar. So you're going to get the Kofi Kingston treatment. We'll throw you the title. Right? It gives us it gives us some great prestige too in the public eye. See, we put titles on black individuals. But then the second that he wants his flavor of the week or his past legend or Brock Lesnar a part-time, the second he wants them to come up, sorry, Kofi, you're losing that shit in 8 seconds. Sorry, Big E, 3.5 months, that's long enough. We're taking that back. Vince doesn't care about how he's booking his fucking champions, especially Kofi Kingston or Big E or Bobby Lashley. Why don't we start calling it what it really is, man? Why do we gotta beat around the bush and act like this shit isn't happening? What happened to Big E is an absolute disgrace. So now you hear that it's a C1 fracture, C1 break. I'm telling you guys, man, don't be shocked if you hear he cannot come back. That C1 has to form correctly. On top of that, he had the C6 break too. I don't even know the situation on that. I've just done a lot of research on C1. You know, not a lot of wrestlers break their neck and come back. Am I right, guys? I think there's only a handful, correct? I mean, who really broke their, like really fractured it? Not just like a little bit either. You know how you hear like a little chip or something? I understand that's a break, but you can heal that much easily, especially if it's not C1. But how many individuals really like broke a few fucking parts of their neck and actually came back? It's very, yeah, but some of you guys are saying Edge, but Edge didn't actually break his neck, guys. Edge has a spinosis. It's like a spinneroonie. Spinosis, I think it's called. Edge didn't break his neck. When he heard that crack, when he landed on the ladder and he said he heard a crack, that was the beginnings. It's like when you crack your fucking knuckles or you snap your back in the morning, you crack it. That was leading to the spinosis. Edge didn't actually break it. That's all spinosis. Edge didn't break his neck. The original crack that everybody says he broke his neck, that was not a break. That was a problem in infusion. His neck got encompassed together, and then it led to spinosis or stenosis. Somebody's saying stenosis. Yes, stenosis. Thank you. What did I say? Spinosis, like a spinneroonie. Just like Stone Cold, everybody says he broke his neck when Owen Hart dropped him on that pile driver. Stone Cold did not break his neck. Stone Cold did not break his neck. Stone Cold had it got compressed. It's actually called a stunner. How interesting is it that Stone Cold got a stunner in his match with Owen, but he did not break his neck. I can't stand when people think that these wrestlers are breaking their necks because they're going and saying that they broke their necks. They didn't, man. These are not broken necks. And regardless of any injury that Stone Cold had previous or people like Edge, the reason that they left the business was not a broken neck. It was stenosis for Edge, and it was a stunner for Stone Cold. That's what I'm saying, guys. And Paige also didn't fracture it. She basically got that whiplash that you would get in a car accident, and even she hasn't come back yet. That's what I mean. Not a lot of people come back from broken necks. So everybody is thinking that Big E, he's sending out good positive messages. He's going to be back in no time. If you look at the list, nah, bro. A lot of these motherfuckers, they do not return from actual broken necks. So, I mean, I hate to be the Debbie Downer here, but I don't know what you want. I'm not going to bullshit you guys. You know, be happy that Big E is going to be able to walk, it looks like. But I just don't understand all this wrestling talk. I just don't see it happening until I get more, until Big E tells us more about it, and that's at his discretion. He doesn't need to. But if we hear more about his type of injury and that C1 heals properly, then and only then can we even begin to talk about maybe a comeback. My point is this, whether he comes back or not, he's going to be greatly reduced. And that's fucking sad because I thoroughly enjoyed Big E every time he was out there. And the way that Vince booked this son of a bitch even more horribly with the title, it's fucking bullshit to the utmost levels. That's what pisses me off, man. Remember that guy, what's his name, man? I not to be disrespectful, I totally forget the name, but he actually passed away from his neck injury. He actually broke his neck. He was sent out of the ring, and he hit it really hard on the mat outside. And when he got back in, he was like limp. Rey Mysterio knew that something was wrong, so when he went for the 619, he didn't connect fully. So Rey Mysterio was very smart in that, man. and dude dropped back. Oh man, Piro? Was it Piro? Oh man. Yeah, Antonio, thank you, man. Piro, yes. So Rey Mysterio saw this, so he didn't connect with the 619 fully. But you know what happened? There was injuries in the back, so the medical staff was attending to people already. I believe it was Conan that went into the ring and started fucking trying to wake him up and shake him, and it just snapped it completely. But you can't really blame Conan didn't know. So a lot of people are like, what the fuck, Conan? Even BC is like, damn it, dude. If you just didn't shake the dude, maybe he would have lived. But Conan didn't have the same wherewithal that Rey Mysterio had. You never know with a neck injury, man. And I'm so glad. I'm sure he was fucking down and out anyway. But I'm so glad that Big E didn't try to be a superhero, Superman, and try to get up. If you think you got a fucking problem with your neck, you stay the fuck down. That's what got Edge in such trouble. Edge had one issue after the other. You got to follow Edge's career path with his injuries. It was one issue after another. It wasn't just one until finally it led to bad stenosis. So you know what he did? He had a surgery which basically put plates on the side of it. So it's compressing the part that's a problem, but now you have to worry about the top of that surgery and the bottom of the surgery. So do you guys know how Edge came back? Edge had another surgery where he widened the problem area, so it's even more plates. So basically, Edge is the bionic man right now. So he's got even more plates. The problem is still you're going to have to worry about the top and the bottom of the plates. So it's only a matter of time before Edge is going to feel that shit and has to walk away permanently. He had a 3-year deal. I believe he's in the last year. You know, I love Edge. I want to see him out there for a million years, but it ain't gonna happen. The body can only take so much, and he's just bought himself time is what he did. Anyway. Yeah, Piro. Thank you guys on that, man. I definitely wanted to get the name out of respect. But anyway, that's the Big E news, man. You know, that's C1, C6. It's great when you hear he doesn't need surgery, but bro, you do not want to hear that it's a C1 fracture and break, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah, somebody said Nikki Bella. Yeah, Nikki, but I think Nikki, if it was an actual break, I don't think Nikki Bella had it severe. I think that was a chip, was it not? Not saying that that's, I mean, too much better, but I think Nikki just had like the chip that was broke. I have to do more research on that. Hardcore Holly, do you guys remember? Somebody said, DB said Hardcore Holly. Holly was actually Brock Lesnar, I believe. Brock powerbombed him, and it was just mistimed or some shit. And Hardcore Holly says that he broke his neck. Now, we've yet to see exact evidence of that, but you got to take the dude at his word. But he did wrestle a lot and pretty viciously afterwards. That doesn't coincide with somebody who really broke the neck at the point that Bob Holly said. But Bob Holly, you got to take his word for it that it was actually broke. But yeah, I think that was Brock Lesnar powerbombed him. And do you guys know that AJ Styles broke a couple of necks in his career? I think they were both maybe in Japan. But AJ Styles in that Styles clash, a lot of people didn't know how to take it, so they would duck their head. And a couple of people ducked their heads, and AJ Styles broke a couple of necks. One person actually walked up to Styles in the locker room one day and said, "Can you please stop doing that shit?" And AJ Styles was like, "Absolutely not. It's not my problem. It's not my fault. You didn't take it correctly. I told you how to take it." Was it Tatsu? Oh, you guys are I mean, I love having the unit, man. There's so much on BC's Dome piece that I have to get out within a 2-hour period on these streams. You guys are always there with the fucking, with the details and what I'm saying. I love it. I think it was Tatsu. And there was another one too, though. Started with an H, didn't it? Hana. Oh, man, that's going to bug me, man. There's no way I can look it up now. I definitely know it started with an H, though, and I believe it was over in Japan. But anyway, enough talking about that shit, man. We definitely hope the very best for Big E, obviously. It's not looking good. When you hear about a C1, man, that's not what you want to hear. So BC's going to be watching this vividly, guys. Trust me. When it comes to Big E, that's one of my favorite dudes in this industry. I got a new toothpick, man. It's National Toothpick Day for the big guy upstairs, man. Yo, Chico, we got you covered, man. Get a toothpick today. I don't know where you're gonna buy them. Maybe a supermarket. I don't fucking know. National Toothpick Day. And then, of course, Scott Hall is the last story I want to talk about in this half an hour cold open. Much love to that son of a bitch, man. I told you last night when we found out together, we all found out. Well, I turned on the live stream. We go live on Raw, and all of a sudden they said that he passed away. Well, moments before, the last word that BC got was his heart was still beating. His heart was beating the whole day off of life support. That shows you that he was not willing to do the job to death. He was not going to do the job. He was not going to go down lightly. He's not passing the torch. He may not be able to kick out, but he was not tapping the fuck out, bro. His heart beat the entire day off of life support, right before Raw is when he finally said, all right, I'm going to give them a storyline. I'm going to give them a fucking, I'm going to give them something to talk about. I'm going to steal the fucking show. Fucking Scott Hall, man. The whole day his heart's beating. Raw's about to hit the airwaves. All right, I'm taking over this bitch. But he didn't kick out. I understand, but he didn't tap out either, man. He was not going to do the job easily. But I was just floored during that live stream last night when we covered hour number 1 of Raw. So if you go back, I mean, I was kind of at a loss for words. At first, we were all over the place. That whole stream last night was kind of all over the place. So I thank you for everybody that watched the entire thing, man. Because we were all over the place. I was trying to comprehend the news. I've had a night to kind of sleep on it. I had 90 minutes of sleep, so that's enough to kind of think about this. And I just, how did we get here? Well, we know that Scott Hall lived very fast. There's stories where Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels would be in a hotel room, and Scott would say, Shawn, is your heart still beating? And Shawn would be like, yeah, yours? 5 minutes later, Shawn, you still alive? Shawn's like, yeah, how about you? I mean, they were just popping one pill after one pill after one night after year after year. And when you live so fast like that, eventually it's going to catch up. I'm surprised he made it out of his 50s with his lifestyle. Because you got a lot of dudes who, and mostly it's the roids, right? Extracurricular activities for your muscles. Ultimate Warrior, for instance, in his 50s and having that heart attack. Macho Man Randy Savage, very amplified, and he passed in his 50s. And, Triple H has to be careful. Triple H apparently was born with a heart defect. And we all know that Triple H dabbled into his extracurricular activities when it came to enlarged muscles. Go back to that Madison Square Garden comeback. You take that scrawny kid, and that's great that he lived in the gym, but any gym rat will tell you that's not natural. That is, I don't care how hard you think you're going to fucking work. And then you see his fluctuations over the past 20 years, man. There's no doubt he dabbled in that shit because he wanted to be that guy. But with a heart defect and that shit, Triple H has to be careful that he makes it out of his fucking 50s. You want to play with the devil a little bit, you better be prepared for the consequences if the devil can't take you the whole ride. So, it's amazing he made it out of his 50s, but because he did, we were really hoping for the best for him, but it just seemed like it was one thing after another for Scott. I don't think he ever truly got away from his demons. And then he gets this hip fracture, and it's a running joke, but it's not really a joke because there seems to be truth to it. When you're older and you get a hip injury, it's almost like it leads to really bad shit. When you get a hip injury, it's almost like it opens the floodgates, and that's actually what happened. He got a hip injury, had this surgery, and it spread it out a blood clot. It got loose, and that led to 3 heart attacks. And Scott Hall how does the human body, especially when he was already, I believe, on a pacemaker, how do you come back from that shit? And he still refused to tap out. He was taken off life support, and for hours, his heart somehow still beat. And you say Scott Hall ain't one of those tough-ass, badass son of a bitches? Bullshit. I think a lot of people thought when he got taken off of life support, 60 minutes tops, Iron Man match. No, this motherfucker set up a whole storyline throughout the day. Right before Raw, we finally get the news. But that was my child. That's just one of those people. That's my childhood, bro. Razor Ramon, way before Scott Hall, and he was just larger than life. The colors, the presence, the aura, the mannerisms, to the movements, to his skill set, to his promos, everything about this dude jumped off of your television set. And I told you guys several times, man, I'm not a big autograph person. Even when I was a kid, I didn't care about meeting wrestlers. It wasn't a big deal to me. I met a few, and it was cool. But I never needed to meet celebrities or wrestlers. It was never a big deal to me. But I met Scott Hall one day. He was Razor Ramon, and he was the Intercontinental title holder. And I mean, it was in a mall. He was signing autographs in a mall. And the line, you want respect? The line was like around the entire fucking mall. One of the floors. It was the whole thing. It was a huge line. You had to wait. I had to wait like fucking probably 70, 80 minutes just to get my spot in. And when I get up there, I'm looking at him, larger than life. I'm looking at the title, which is larger than life. And he let me hold the title, man, which was heavy as fuck. It seemed like a whole bag of bricks. And he let me hold that. And he's like, now you're the bad guy. And I'll just never forget that, man. One of the coolest dudes. You hear a lot of stories from the boys in the back about how Scott Hall kind of held people back, and Scott Hall was all about the money. Scott Hall, from a fan's point of view, was one of the best son of a bitches you could have met in person, because he took that amount of time with everybody. It wasn't just BC, bro. He took that amount of time with everybody. Unreal, man. Just one of those things, you know, that you lose a good one, and it sucks. It sucks when you lose somebody it sucks when you lose somebody in general, but when it's somebody like he called himself the bad guy, when deep down he was one of the good guys. So here we are, you know. I put up a tribute before Raw, hoping, you know, thoughts and prayers, that type of tribute, not an in memoriam. It ended up being in memoriam, but all those wrestlers from the 80s, man, because he was way before the 90s. I mean, he was really breaking in with those old Mark Calloways in those late 80s, man. All those 80s wrestlers who just played really hard. You know, now we're at that time in life where they have to pay for it, and it just sucks one after the other. And Razor Ramon's one of those dudes that, well, like the Roddy Pipers and things like that, it's the same type of scenario, but with BC, certain people is just a little bit more. Scott Hall's one of them, and the Big Boss Man was another one. When I learned about Big Boss Man's passing, and oddly enough, Curt Hennig, which is actually Mr. Perfect, he's actually one of the really good friends of Scott Hall. So I said last night, Macho Man's waiting for a match with Scott Hall when he gets up there. Well, Curt Hennig may have a problem with that. Mr. Perfect may want the first match. And you know they're going Iron Man status up there. If you hear any rumblings in the sky, it's not thunder. It's just Scott Hall and Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. Because you know they're fucking doing exactly what they did here on Earth, bro. Rumbling with one another. But Mr. Perfect, Big Butt, you know, it's just... The 80s was my jam, and I'm talking about even way before the Attitude Era, way before the 90s, man. Just that 80s superstars of wrestling era. That is what I hold near and dear to my heart. Those 80s wrestling, man. Superstars of Wrestling came on Saturday afternoon. There was no Monday Night Raw back then. But when Raw did come around, Razor Ramon was one of those people that you thought about right in line with the beginning of Monday Night Raw. Like the beginning of Raw, you kind of put that with Razor Ramon. One of the biggest storylines at the inception of Raw was when the 1-2-3 Kid defeated Razor Ramon. And Kid was a jobber at that point. Anyway, we can go on and on in this cold open, man. You know, just reminiscing about Scott Hall and what he meant to people. But I want to start this off with the right way, man. First, let's give a big salute over to Scott Hall. Hold on. First of all, it's National Toothpick Day, man. Let's give another hey yo. Ready? Hey yo. Take a look at the bad guy. Yeah, that's our second toothpick flick, brother. Don't worry. It's National Toothpick Day. I got a lot more where that came from. Fuck yeah, man. And now let's give a proper salute, man. A big swig to Scott Hall, man. Gone but never forgotten, my brother. Never forgotten. Trust me. Salute, Scott Hall. Bad times don't last. Bad guys do. There's no way you could forget somebody like fucking Scott Hall, dude. You know what I mean? You know, those words don't even need to be spoken. And then I already talked about WrestleMania being a hot mess, which we're going to get over. So I'm probably going to touch on all three of those cold open segments. I wanted that cold open to be about a half an hour. It went over 36 minutes, but hey, what can you do? You know, this is live. These are serious topics. Thank you guys, man, for the over 150 of you guys that already smashed that up. I forgot to even mention that. Thank you guys, man. As we head toward 200, that'll help the algorithm and the thousands of people that are going to click this within the next 24 hours. It's because of you guys. So I appreciate that. I want to go over the last 2 hours of Raw, if you guys don't mind. And even if you do mind, I still have to go over it. That's kind of the point of the whole video. And before I do, man, I just want to say what's up to some of my VIPs up in here. Trev Reigns, the Tribal God, with a 5-spot coffee. So let me get this straight. They have absolutely nothing for Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in a meaningless battle royal. He's probably going to be, they're going to have something for him. They're already dropping hints that it's Cody. It's too late. I would just save Cody at this point. It's just too fucking late. I don't know what's going to be worse. Seth Rollins just having somebody show up and beating him up at WrestleMania or just being in a battle royal. But Trev Reigns, I have no fucking idea what they think they're doing with Rollins. Jerry Cox, what up, Jerry? 5-spot, you already know who this is. It's me, Charlie Grin. Much love, brother. It's damn time for Vince to pull his head out of his keister for a major change. Jerry Cox, salute, man. What up? And yeah, Jerry Cox, I totally fucking agree, dude. Charlie Grin. But haven't we been saying that for years, though? It's been years, man. McMahon's head is so far up his own ass that I don't know. It's going to take Triple H and all 619 creative yes men to try to pull that thing out of his own ass. Big Nang with a couple of 5s. Is it just me, or is McAfee, in theory, could be a sleeper match? Plus, missed out last night when y'all showing the love for Razor Ramon. RIP to the bad guy. That's all right, Big Nang. At least you're here for this showing of appreciation. And yeah, McAfee and Austin Theory, it's one of the matches that I can't say looking forward to, but I'm down with it. It should have been either Austin versus Austin or Shane McMahon versus Theory, because that makes more sense storyline-wise. I don't see how Pat McAfee just jumped out of nowhere, especially because McMahon and McAfee on his show were being cordial. They were good friends on that interview. So I don't understand how, you got a good friendship going and everybody's being polite, and then all of a sudden Vince McMahon is sicking Austin Theory on him. So storyline-wise, it didn't even make sense, Big Nang. Big Nang also says BC Rock showed up 2 weeks before WrestleMania 20. Maybe they try to pull something last minute spark like that, but I don't know if it's going to work. WrestleMania 20, what did The Rock do? Because I don't even remember it, see? What did Rock do at WrestleMania 20? Because if he showed up 2 weeks before, it's way too late. Big Nang with a 2-spot. Even Big E stopped doing the New Day intro. Yeah, Big E did not want to be back in the New Day. I'm telling you right now, he loves his New Day brothers. He doesn't mind being with them every now and again, but he wanted better for himself. He knew the same thing that we knew. Big E deserved better than just the New Day, bro. So, yeah, what did The Rock do at WrestleMania 20? I don't remember it. Rock did a tag match with Foley versus Evolution. See what I mean? I forgot about it. I'm sure it was fun for the 2-week build, and probably the match was fun. It sounds like something that we could get behind. But with 2 weeks build, that's what I mean, Big Nang. I forgot about it. It's what I mean, because the story wasn't sitting in my fucking lap, man. It wasn't something that we could digest. So Big Nang, you just proved my point, man. You gotta... I miss when storylines, they were created months before the pay-per-view. For those couple of months at least, you built the story. So by the time you got to the pay-per-view, you had to see this match. This company is still trying to finalize the card. The card is still missing 6, 7, 8 matches. And we're 18 days away from the event. Ashley Steggles, $17.99. What up, Ashley? Don't forget, BC, NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver is Saturday as well as night 1 of WrestleMania. So that makes it 6.5 hours of wrestling. And on Friday before night 1 of Mania, we have Smackdown in the Hall of Fame. Ashley Steggles, you bring up a really good point that I forgot to mention in the past 3 videos that I have done. Ashley brought up a great point. They're doing NXT Stand and Deliver during the afternoon of Saturday, which is going to go nearly... They're going to have a couple of dark matches. So for the live crowd, that's going to be 3 hours of action. WrestleMania Night 1 is going to go at least 4 hours. That is 7 hours of action in less than 12 hours of time. That's too... They're going to be burnt out by the time they get to WrestleMania. And then Ashley Steggles brings up another point. The night before, not only are they doing a live SmackDown, but at 10:30, a half an hour after SmackDown goes off the air, they're doing the Hall of Fame from that same arena with the same crowd. Anybody that wants to stay, it's a 2-for-1 deal. I mean, your WrestleMania crowd is going to be burnt the fuck out by the time you get to the night 1 event. Night 2, it better be a whole changeover, and I doubt it's going to be. Papo Jr. $9.99. What up, Papo Jr.? What up, dude? I've always said this to my friends. Those that are green should not be on TV. They want to treat pro wrestling as a sport. Why do you think other major sports have scouts? They want the best. Yeah, Vince just looks at the physique, and he just decides right there on the spot if he likes you or not. And that's that. That's a wrap. The skills, you'll work on that. What's the worst that can happen? You destroy somebody's career? Vince doesn't have to worry. He's not in that ring. So you see the Nia Jax situations and you see the Ridge Holland situations. Again, if this was just one time with Nia Jax, you wouldn't hear people pissed off about Nia Jax. If this was one time with Ridge Holland, you wouldn't hear people bashing Ridge Holland. And nobody wants to kick the guy when he's down, but this isn't the first time that he dropped somebody on his fucking head. And even when it wasn't dropping people on their heads, you watch a Ridge Holland match and you cringe a lot because there's so many botches. So all we're saying is we don't want the guy to lose his job, but is it so much to ask to just retrain him? We asked that by Nia Jax after the 3rd or 4th injury. Vince refused, and she had a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and even 10th injury. So Papo Jr., no doubt, dude. In any other sport, this would be asinine to the highest amplifications to the point where Vince would have to be removed for incompetency. In WWE, it's fucking normal. Papo Jr., $19.99, Papo Jr. Rocking it, man. RIP to the bad guy. I knew about him, but I watched his career through the network. I loved imitating the guy everywhere I went. One of the founding fathers of the turning point of pro wrestling in the 90s. Salute. First of all, salute to you, Papo. Thank you for that $19.99 as well. And Papo Jr., you are correct. And I always try to think about it through the lens of you guys who were too young to watch Razor Ramon Scott Hall in his heyday. So you watch it through the network, and I'm so glad that you took the time to do that, Papo. There's a lot of youngsters out there, they don't know a lot about Razor Ramon or Scott Hall. They just hear the stories, and they refuse to go back and check it out. And I'm not just talking about his matches. I'm talking about his storylines, his promos. You're going to love this dude, just as Papo Jr. does. And Papo admits that was kind of before his time. But that's that kind of guy. I get it, like the wrestlers that before BC's time and all, parents or other adults, they would just be like, you got to watch this guy's work. Even though it was before your time, you got to watch it. It's amazing. And you're like, yeah, okay. I don't care about fucking 10 years ago, 20 years. I don't give a fuck, but I did take the time to go back and look at the Buddy Rogerses in the Pedro Moraleses, in the ST Jones, in the Big John Studs. I took the time to do all that because I saw one look at them and what they were doing, and I just fell in love with it. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I don't care if it's in black and white. I'm checking this shit out. Papo Jr., thank you, dude. Chris Underwood, what up, man? I haven't seen Chris in a while. Chris Underwood, $4.99. My man BC just got home from work. Picked up a case of Stone Cold's Broken Skull American Lager a day early. Gonna have a few for the bad guy tonight. Salute, Chris Underwood. I got a lots to do, so I can't have one of those. But I'll give you a coffee salute to go with your Stone Cold salute, man. That shit's pretty good, I heard, that Broken Skull American Lager. Salute, Chris Underwood. I appreciate it. Enjoy the drinks, man. And that sounds like an awesome time honoring one of the best in the industry. And also, Chris Underwood, good to see you up in here, dude. So I'll get to the other, man. I know there was more. I'll get to the other supers in just a little bit, guys. I want to go over the second hour of Raw. Again, if you're looking for the first hour of Raw, we did that live. That was a live reaction. It's already on the channel. So I'm going to pick this up during the second hour. And before I do, one more weird thing too, man. Sunday night, I was actually watching most of the Wrestler movie. You know, the Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. It's about an 80s broken wrestler from the 80s, and he's got a bad heart. He shouldn't be in the ring. And the movie actually ends with him about to do himself in. He knows he should not be doing this. He's having another heart attack, but he still decides to do this huge frog splash, ram splash. And the movie ends just like that. You don't know if he passed away or not. But it's just amazing that I watched that movie, and then all of a sudden this all happens with Scott Hall around the same time frame. It was just odd. I just wanted to bring that up. Hurt Business. This is not the Hurt Business. This is a shell of what they once were. And this match was no fucking different, by the way. Dominic pins Alexander with a frog splash, and that's it. Thanks for coming, Alexander. Thanks for coming, Shelton Benjamin. Mysterio's defeat Shelton and Cedric. And then afterwards, Logan Paul and Miz get beat up. That's exactly what happened. I wish I could tell you something more fun. That's just not the case, man. That whole the top of the second hour was absolutely fucking stupid. It led to nothing, and this is the best they have for fucking Miz and the Mysterios. Tag them up with Logan Paul, and you're supposed to be excited for WrestleMania? I was dude, I was 16 times more excited to see Beth Phoenix and Edge versus Maryse and Miz. Logan Paul just does nothing. I'm not even throwing shade. I don't know what this dude does in real life. I don't know how he became famous, popular. I don't give a fuck. The dude doesn't do anything for me. Hooked up with the Miz definitely doesn't do anything for me. And Ray and Dominic in another fucking insignificant, nonsensical tag match doesn't do anything for BC. So no, I'm not happy about it. If you are, great. I'm not even being facetious or being a fucking douche when I say that. Good for you. I'm not. Queen Sharmell is the next inductee into the Hall of Fame. I don't understand this, and I love Booker T and Queen Sharmell. I love that shit, all right? How long was she actually in WWE on TV? Wasn't it just one full year, guys? Please tell me in the comments. I'm on a delay, but I will try to keep gauging. But I think she was only there one full year. I just don't know how you get into the Hall of Fame, especially as a manager, with 1 year. It was one full year, tops, right? Maybe a full year. Maybe it wasn't even a full year. It was just during that year of King Booker. So, I'm not throwing shade, man. I always liked Booker and Queen Sharmell. It's a shame that the Queen never came back. I just don't understand how we're just throwing people. Like, if you want to call them a legend and throw them a Legends contract, okay. But at this point, what it means is as long as you were in WWE for at least just a year or around a year, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. One year. Yeah, a lot of you guys are telling me what. So again, I like Queen. I'm not throwing shade, and I'm not going to combat this. Hey, she's in it. Great. I'm going to that is not a hill that I'm going to battle on. Good for her. I'm going to give her a good fucking clap at the Hall of Fame. I'm going to fucking give a salute to the Queen. That's great, and especially in honor of Booker. I just don't understand where there's a line. You know, like the celebrity wing was the line, I felt, right? Okay, that's all the goofy gimmickry. Now, I mean, you're celebrating somebody like Scott Hall, but in the same fucking Hall of Fame, now the Queen gets in there. How does this... I don't know, man. Yeah. But good for her, man, right? We ain't gonna play her hate. Good for her. She's in the Hall of Fame. Good for Booker. And we'll move on. I just wanted to mention that for those that didn't catch it. I know a lot of you guys don't watch the show. You just watch BC's review. I appreciate that. Edge is up next. New badass theme. Hits the ring with that blue spotlight on him as he cuts a promo that ravages right through the wrestling world like a hot knife through fresh butter. Another steaming promo from Edge. I think his new music is Alter Bridge too. I'll go back and check. Maybe you guys have already found it out. I don't know if I can know. Sounded like Alter Bridge, but it's not his old theme. It's not even like a twist. It's literally like a new song. And Edge puts the roster, the fans, and the entire industry on notice. The old Edge is gone. This new Edge gives zero fucks what you think of him. And BC loves this. Let's be honest. There was a portion of fans that were going to drag Edge no matter what he did. They were going to drag Edge, right? He could save your grandmother from getting hit by a bus. He could save your kid from getting eaten by your dog. He could find an instant cure for every pandemic in the world going forward, and people would not give a shit. Right? They'd still find fault in an Edge segment. When the reality is everything Edge is in is straight elite fire. But what are you going to do? Promo ends with no appearance from AJ Styles. This is the second week in a row. So I do like how they're selling his beatdown and subsequent injury. However, the flip side is we only have 18 days left. 18 days left before WrestleMania. That's only 2 Monday Night Raws left. We may have to kick this shit into high gear come Monday. And sure enough, they actually did advertise AJ Styles for Monday Night Raw. He left a post on his social media. So, it does look like Edge is going to show up Monday. I just, I love the beatdown and subsequent injury. I wish we had a little bit more with Edge than just 2 weeks of just giving a little bit of a promo, because it's only a little bit. The promo itself is only a couple minutes. I think we're more like, whoa, on his new entrance, his theme music, this new Edge, this new heel version of Edge, which is even different than the old heel version of Edge. So I guess in this meantime, while AJ Styles has been gone, we've been really cementing this new Edge. So I guess I stand corrected. I guess it all has a place. I'm just looking at the time before Mania, and nothing is really jumping off the screen to BC. We could talk shit about AEW Revolution, because up until about a couple weeks before the pay-per-view, AEW had no announced matches. So we were all like, what the fuck are they doing? This is Vince McMahon-esque. But when they did announce everything made sense. You know why? Because every match they already planted the seeds for. They just didn't announce it. But at least, and I'm against that. I wish they did announce it way in advance, but they were too busy trying to pop ratings for their weekly shows. So the pay-per-view got kind of thrown to the wayside. But when they did fill out that card, every match made sense, and most of them, if not all, captivated you. They kind of jumped off that screen a little bit. You had to see them. WrestleMania, I'm not sure what that match is. There is none right now. Not even Edge and AJ Styles. We understand it's going to be a good wrestling match. Or at least we hope. I hope Vince gives them enough time. And the storyline started off really good with the beatdown on AJ Styles, and the Edge has this new heel character. But now, with 2 Raws left, when AJ Styles comes Monday, we got to kick this into high gear, bro. Let's do something really fun outside the box. Let's get the wrestling world talking. And that'll add to AJ Styles and Edge. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about, man. Take a really good match and give it a powerful storyline that cannot be contended with. I'm telling you, it'll be awesome. And you have the creativity to do it. You have a 3-hour show. There's no reason not to. Put that in a fucking pipe and smoke it, Vince. Hey, yo. Take a look at the bad guy. I got you dead on that time. I got it right there that time. I saw the camera go a little black. My Razor Ramon skills are fucking eating up, man. Don't worry, I got many more of these, man. Bara, National Toothpick Day in honor of Razor Ramon. So that's Edge, man. Badass. Bianca Belair then takes on Doudrop for the 67th time this year. That's right, do the math. There's only been 73 days so far in the calendar year of 2022, but somehow these two have taken on each other 67 times. How many times do you need to see Bianca Belair and fucking Doudrop? Come on, man. 67 fucking times. I'm convinced, anyway, that it's 67 times. It might be a slight exaggeration. Before a commercial break, Doudrop goes for a cannonball. They're on the outside, and Bianca Belair is up against the barricade. So Doudrop goes for a cannonball. Bianca Belair moves, and Doudrop lands right on her fucking dome piece, bro. I mean, Big E, at least with Big E, somebody dropped him on his dome piece, stupidly. With Doudrop, she's like, hold my coffee. And she dropped herself on her fucking head. That looked horrible, bro. And then we went to commercial. I'm like, great. Let's see what her fucking injury is going to be. Luckily, she was able to continue. I don't know. And then we get a massive earth-shattering KOD that ends the match. But we already saw this a couple weeks ago. We already know that she can hold up Doudrop and deliver an earth-shattering KOD. We saw it. So now Vince must have fucking had an orgasm on that, right? He busted a fucking nut on that, so he wanted to see it again. So here we are. Bianca carries Doudrop from the corner, from the turnbuckle into the middle of the ring, and it's the slow motion KOD too, because you don't want to drop her on her head, obviously. So Bianca just uses brute strength and kind of does a seesaw tip where you slowly see Doudrop. It's like, and then what about here? Then you go, boom, and then she falls because the weight carries her down. So you go, and it's slow motion, man. Literally, you could put some music to that. You could take a nap, fucking pick up a bad hobby, go play in traffic with your fucking thumbs up your ass, and still make it back in time to see the KOD because she's about here, and then boom. Okay, awesome. Belair with the W. Okay, can we stop now, man? Can you give Doudrop something else? Can Bianca have something else as we head toward WrestleMania? Now, post-match, bro, one of the most badass moments of the night was Becky Lynch attacking Belair. Steel chair into the post. She put a steel chair around Belair's neck. Becky Lynch then took her braid and swung Bianca Belair into the ring post. Chair around her neck. The chair and the neck snap into the post. Sounded horrendous. Belair sells it beautifully, drops back, and I was like, damn, that was fucking badass. Much respect to Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair for pulling that spot off beautifully, because that was really done beautifully. Damn. Pretty damn good, man. Before we go over to hour number 3, by the way, before hour number 3, we get a Snickers promotional commercial, and it's a flashback to 1998 WrestleMania 14. Austin defeats HBK for the title, and JR is on commentary. They actually kept JR's commentary in. You have to. It's iconic. And also you hear in this Snicker promotional ad, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. And it just made BC miss that even more, bro. It's like, damn, I miss that. You know, JR is not that JR anymore. That energy is no longer there. Every single Dynamite ends the same way. He's Excalibur, he's Tony Schiavone, and I'm Jim Ross. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good night. And then we just go off there. It doesn't matter if something awesome is happening, something epic. It sounds so mundane, and I love Jim Ross. And I know there's a big part of us that says, I don't care if he's 100 and still wants to broadcast, let him do it because he is royalty. I get it. But at some point, man, we're going to need energy on the commentary booth. Jimmy Smith is not cutting it on Raw. Unfortunately, when it comes to energy, Jim Ross is no longer doing it on AEW. Tony Schiavone needs to handle the outros. Tony Schiavone should be doing all of the endings now. That's not disrespect to Jim Ross. Schiavone still has that it factor on the booth, in the booth. But unless you're Mauro Ranallo, the commentary teams are shitting the bed these days. And you just go back to WrestleMania 14, that Snickers promotional, man. You just hear Jim Ross, a title changed hands, and that's how you're supposed to call it. Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold! You know, you can't end the show when a title changes hands like it just did with Scorpio Sky defeating Sammy Guevara for that TNT championship. The title changes hands, and Jim Ross is just like, he's Excalibur, he's Tony, and I'm Jim. Thanks for joining us, everyone. So long. Have a good night. Man, I'm not saying he's Stone Cold, but can you just be like, Scorpio Sky, Sammy Guevara's in shock. We have a new champion. Good night, everybody. I can't believe this. I don't know. Maybe BC's asking too much. Energy and passion and amplification. It's a lost art, I guess. Hour number 3 starts with yet another arc. First of all, no. We'll go to hour number 3 after I do some more of my super VIPs, bro. My VIPs have been waiting, dude. We already went over the first round of VIPs. Thank you guys, man, my supers. We got some more, too, I want to get over to. And it starts with Ashley Steggles, $8.99. I'm still trying to contemplate the fact that we lost Scott Hall, a.k.a. Razor Ramon, a.k.a. the bad guy. His legacy is and forever too sweet. R.I.P. Scott. Have fun reforming the NWO up there with Randy. No doubt, man. And I'm sure you mean, Ashley, I'm still trying to comprehend, not contemplate. Nothing to contemplate anymore. Unfortunately, he's gone. But I know what you mean, brother. And I'm trying to comprehend it too, man. You know, and I'm sure it's going to take me a long while to try to think, how did this happen with Big E? How did this happen with Scott Hall? And how did we get to such a shitty WrestleMania, a hot mess? It's been just a bad 72 hours. From fucking a severe injury that could be career-ending to a loss of one of our favorite fucking superstars of all time to a shitty WrestleMania season. It's just a shitty 72 hours in the world of pro wrestling, man. So, yeah, man, I don't know, Ashley. Mr. Black Ice, 22, 2-spot, and RIP to the fake Razor. He died a few years ago. I think he did, right? Yeah, man. The fake Razor Ramon. What was his name, man? I'm drawing a blank, and I don't mean any disrespect to that young man. But what was his the fake Razor Ramon? That was a few years ago, though. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will get his name up. Mr. Black Ice 22. Unique Butterfly, 5-spot coffee. I'm glad that Scott Hall got his flowers while he was still alive. Quite unlike Vader. Shameful. Vader should have got his respects while he was alive. Unique Butterfly, I'm shocked by that, as is Mick Foley. Mick Foley made a really big deal about that. Mick Foley really thought that Vader not being in the Hall of Fame while he was alive, and WWE knew that he didn't have a lot of time left, and Vince McMahon still refused to put him in the Hall of Fame. And BC was saying, like, something's not right. How do you not have Vader in the fucking Hall of Fame? Now he's going in when it's just too late. So, Unique Butterfly also with a 5-spot says BC, besides Edge intriguing heel turn in the beatdown of Belair, it was a complete waste of 3 hours that I can't get back. No doubt. Everybody was just thinking Cody, Jacksonville. The hints were all there. We needed something to take our minds off the whole Razor Ramon thing just for a couple of hours. And WWE shit the bed, as they usually do. There was a couple of fucking moments. That was it. You can't tell me WrestleMania is any better after last night than it was going into the fucking show. Harsh Vadan Ingali, 200-spot Indian currency. BC dropped by to check in. We'll check the vid later as always. Please tell me your interest in WrestleMania is in negative just like me. Have a nice day. Check you later. Harsh Vadan. Harsh Vadan's busy, but just stop by to smash that up for BC and show the love. I appreciate that, Harsh Vadan. And yeah, man, it's negative. My outlook on WrestleMania is in the negative, not because I just want to be negative, but Harsh Vadan, you know, it's because they're not giving me anything to be positive about. I'm not going to be positive about multi-person schmaz matches. There's no reason Sasha and Naomi should even be in a tag team, let alone with 3 or even 4 other tag teams when it's all said and done. There's no reason RKBro should be in a multi-person tag match, but they're going to be once Alpha Academy is brought in. You have nothing for Finn Balor in his newly won championship. You have nothing for Ricochet in his newly won championship. You have Logan Paul in the event. You have Johnny Knoxville in the event. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens are fighting over who interviews Stone Cold, and you have a main event, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, which is a match that I've seen 17 times before, 3 other times, 3, 4, 5 other times at WrestleMania. Maybe it's only 2, but I've seen this multiple times at a WrestleMania, even this main event. So no, this WrestleMania, fuck, you want the truth? I'm gonna sound like such a fucking asshole here. I'm gonna sound like the negative prick, but you want the fucking truth on how I feel about this WrestleMania? That's for you, Scott. You want my fucking truth, huh? This is how I feel about this year's WrestleMania. Ayo, fuck yourself. There you go. There you go. This year's WrestleMania can go fuck itself. This year's WrestleMania fucking sucks a bag of dicks. That's how I feel about it. Prove me wrong, Vince. Prove me wrong, bro. Unique Butterfly, another 5-spot. The way WWE treats talent such as Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, for example, is absolutely disgraceful. Put some fucking respect on their names. They won't do it. Unique, you brought up Vader earlier. If Vince never put the respect on those superstars' names, you know damn well he ain't going to do it for today's superstars, because now he's just a lot more older and a lot more stubborn. I'll tell you that much, man. Jer9 Gaming, 2-spot. Jer9 says in 4 months, Bianca has faced Doudrop 9 times. Now, I was just I was being a little bit of a jokester. I was being a little bit into the exaggeration column when I said 67 times. But Jer9's my stats man outside the fucking channel, and while the channel is in progress and process, Jer9 says 9 times. That means it's been 9 times. Now, I don't care if that's singles or in tag team. Jer9 gave you the fucking actual stat. 9 times we've seen them in the ring, televised, Bianca Belair and Doudrop. That's a fucking problem. That shit pisses me off, man. Jer9, I appreciate that, man. I mean, I love the stats. But when you read it and you think about it, I don't know how that doesn't piss people off, man. You know? Jer9, dude. Thank you, bro. 9 times. How do you... And that's just that. We can go over so many other rematches that'll boggle your dome piece, but it probably shouldn't. Lord French Fries, 5-spot on WWE site for Raw. It says no... Oh, it says KO dashes Rollins Mania dreams. I believe Corey has also said that after the match. Are they still hinting Cody? Yeah. Yeah, the whole wrestling world heard that last night. Corey Graves said he's dashing Rollins' dreams, or they turned into a nightmare or some shit. I forgot. There's all these hints. Yeah, Cody might still show up. I just feel it's too late. It was Jacksonville or bust to get people really excited, not just for that match, but to give us a reason to give a fuck about Mania. This is bigger than just Cody. Cody showing up at WrestleMania makes zero fucking sense. He's going to be battling with 26 other headlines coming out of Mania. And Vince McMahon will make sure that it's lost in the shuffle, because Vince McMahon's biggest storyline is going to be Roman Reigns and Brock no matter what. Nothing Cody does at Mania is going to grab the fucking headlines over Vince's prized possessions. Charlotte Flair, Brock, Roman, and so on. And John Knoxville will get all the fucking headlines, and the Logan Pauls, and the McAfees. And Cody's going to show up at Mania with no fucking build or hype, just showing up and have an impromptu match. Is he going to have an impromptu beatdown? It's bullshit. It was last night or bust. Now, there's a good chance that he's waiting for next week's Raw, which is going to be in Chicago. Cody loves Chicago. AEW has deep ties with Chicago. Raw emanates from Chicago next week. I understand that could be where this culminates. But at that point, you'll only have one Raw left. So you're not banking on storyline. You're just banking on the match itself, Rollins and Cody, in hopes that it sells. And that will. You just can do better than mediocrity. Great matches still need good stories. You know, if you miss Jacksonville, that was the last straw. Even Chicago is too late next week. At this point, just save them till after Raw. Hour 3 starts with yet another RKBro celebration. Where'd this one come from? I'm flicking these all. National Toothpick Day, man. They're all around. Hey, yo. Hour 3 starts with another RKBro celebration. Orton says he's so excited. Oh, get this, man. This is a laugh. Orton was making us laugh. Wait, we giggled last night with this RKBro situation. Orton says he's so excited to be a part of WrestleMania this year now that they're tag title holders. Really, bro? Really, Randy? Randy! I find it hard to believe that Orton's only way of getting a WrestleMania match was in a tag team with Matt Riddle. And if so, that's fucking pathetic. Now the Street Profits come out and challenge RK-Bro for a Mania title match. And Orton again makes me laugh with ridiculousness when he tells the Profits, and I quote, "You think you can win one match and then get a title opportunity? That's not the way things work around here." End quote. I'm going to say that again. Orton looked at the Street Profits and said, "You think because you won one match that you now get a title opportunity. That's not the way things work around here. That was oh, fuck. Randy, man. Randy Orton, you fucking jokester. He says that's not the way things work around here. Reality check. Randy, that's exactly how things work around here. You just win one match. Normally, it's with the actual champion, by the way. You beat the champion, and then you have the title match. That's exactly how it works, Randy. Oh, bro, that was great. And then 90 seconds later, the Profits get the Mania title match anyway. After Montez made fun of how lame their party was, Matt Riddle got all pissed off. He took great offense to that. So he challenged Tez to a one-on-one match. Matt Riddle versus Tez on Raw. And this was after the title match was already announced. So Orton's like, that's not how it works. You can't just win one match. And then fucking moments later, they're like, okay. Again, a complete waste of 10 fucking minutes just to get us to a match between Montez and Matt Riddle. And the segment ends with Orton saying the three most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKBro. I'm going to say that again. See where this needs to be corrected, please. This was a quote from Randy Orton. Because the Street Profits, they were doing their whole ending with the "We Want the Smoke." So Randy Orton cut him off and said, that's not how we end this segment. No. He says, we're going to end it with the three most dangerous letters in sports entertainment. And he says, RK-Bro. Isn't that 5 letters? I'm just trying to keep it real, bro. Oh, you're going to boo BC because what am I, nitpicking? The dude is saying that I'm going to end the segment with the 3 most dangerous letters in sports entertainment. And he says, RK-Bro. Well, that's 5 letters. I'm not nitpicking. I'm trying to help this dude on national television not be a fool. All of the trivia and all of the Jeopardy from the past few weeks didn't help him at all. That is not 3 letters. That is 5. Damn right. Hey, yo. I'm going to catch that shit, Chico. And then we had a really nice... oh, no. Wait. Where am I going, man? Let's go to the actual match. Matt Riddle... Montez ends in a DQ when Alpha Academy interferes. Clearly, just like the females, there's going to be a triple threat, fatal 4, freaky 5-way, soul-sucking 6-way, horrifying 100-way. Who knows, but it'll be a circus schmaz for those titles. Gone are the days when a match, especially a title match, was made in advance. And way in advance at that. And for a couple of months before a pay-per-view, especially WrestleMania, you built an actual fucking storyline. Gone are those days. Right up until Mania, we're going to add more tag teams, just like they're doing with the females. Because that's what's happening. And that's why we're not even done yet, man. You just wait, and you are going to get more triple threats, more fatal 4-ways, more freaky 5-ways, more soul-sucking 6-ways, more horrifying 100-ways. It's all going to be coming. That's what Vince is going to do. It's WrestleMania. He's going to try to have everybody be a part of something. That's why you see stupid shit like the Andre the Giant Memorial Fuckfest. I love Andre the Giant. I can't stand that fucking Battle Royal. I'm fucking low battery here. What you talking about, low? I'll give you fucking low battery. Pump that shit up. Anyway. Did I even go over who won this match? Yeah. Alpha Academy came in. So that's what I mean. Alpha Academy is going to be joining them at WrestleMania, and now it's going to be a fucking 3-way schmaz. And don't get it twisted. There's still 2 Raws left. You'll see a 4th fucking team. It was really nice to see a tribute to Scott Hall afterwards, Razor Ramon. So glad that they did this. It was needed, and it was the right thing to do, which means Vince doesn't always do that, right? It's obvious that a nice tribute for Razor Ramon Scott Hall would be nice, and it's needed, and you should expect that. It should be the natural thing to do, and that's why you kind of held a reservation for it, because Vince usually doesn't like to do things that he feels he has to do. So it was really cool right before the main event to see that Scott Hall tribute, man. And just like every other time when we talk about Scott Hall, man, we give a nice fucking salute to the bad guy. Really good to see that, man. BC all up in his feels at that point, dude. I was captivated by that. I could honestly, these shows fucking suck anyway. The last 5+ 10 years. I could see, just give me an hour of a tribute to Scott Hall. Play a match or two, do some interviews with people. Just give me a fucking hour-long Scott Hall tribute. I understand it's WrestleMania season. You can't go probably more. You know, you're not going to give 2 hours. You know, you have to... I was going to say you have to build shit. They didn't really build anything, so you technically could give a second hour to Scott Hall. But what I'm saying is the tribute to Scott Hall, just a few minutes, that was more entertaining than anything on the fucking show, bro. Honestly. I thought that was the best part of the fucking night, Scott Hall's tribute. And the main event was KO versus Seth Rollins. Winner gets to interview Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. There's just one major problem. This makes zero fucking sense. Does anybody understand how much this makes zero sense? Rollins has nothing to do with Stone Cold. Owens has been egging on Texas and fucking with Stone Cold. Stone Cold even cut a message back to Owens. And then Rollins somehow 19 nights beforehand is like, I'm going to interview him. And Sonya Deville comes out and says, great idea. So the main event last night, all the marbles were for interviewing Stone Cold. That's what was on the line last night. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. 2 heels fighting over who's going to interview Stone Cold at WrestleMania. I mean, does that sound batshit fucking stupid to you? That should honestly sound batshit stupid to you. By the way, thank you for the 250 on the ups, man. I keep fucking forgetting, man. It's going to help the algorithm, and I only mentioned it a couple fucking times. I got all these things I need to talk about, man, but I thank you guys, man, as we head toward 300. Much respect to everybody that took a moment to smash that. But how does anybody watch that and go, this is fun? Seth Rollins might interview Stone Cold now. Well, what the fuck are you going to do with Owens then? It just didn't make sense, man. Even the booking of it. Even if you're going to say, well, BC, he was never actually going to lose to Rollins, though. He was still going to be the one interview. It doesn't matter. Just the booking of it. Like, Sonya Deville chooses that moment to come out and flex her muscle. She's so into Seth Rollins interviewing Steve Austin. I mean, it is literally batshit, stupid, crazy, dumb as fuck. How's that? Batshit, stupid, crazy, dumb as fuck. Put it on a shirt. But that's what we had as a main event, bro. I can't even make it up. I'm not. That's what happened. Owens defeats Rollins with a stunner. That's it. Was that worth it? Was that worth putting Rollins in your fucking main event of a Monday Night Raw just to see him flat on his back looking up at the lights before WrestleMania when he already doesn't have a challenger? So even if it is Cody Rhodes, we've already seen this dude lose clean flat in the middle of the ring looking up at the lights. But yet Cody's going to take him the fucking distance. At this point, Hornswoggle could fucking beat him. The match was nonsensical, is my point. And there was no Cody, just a dejected Rollins. So fucking dumb. The Cody talk is officially done with the BC, man. WWE, AEW, ROH, the local Walmart as a fucking bagger or cashier. It doesn't matter where Cody shows up. He could be right in fucking New York City as a dog walker. He could be running the hot dog concession stand. He could be helping your grandmother at the local nursery home. I don't care where Cody shows up. Last night in Jacksonville was the last fucking straw, bro. Chicago is your only other option now. And that's this upcoming Monday. They'll be in Chicago. After that, that's it. That's it. You'll have one Raw left. And I believe that one is in fucking Pennsylvania somewhere. So then what? Then you're going to show up at WrestleMania when you're competing with all these other headlines? Cody Rhodes would be lost in the shuffle, bro. Or it's not as big of a story as if he showed up in Jacksonville last night. You know, this fucking company. This company puts the capital fucking stew in stupid. And that was fucking Monday Night Raw, man. That was Monday Night Raw. You know, during the first hour, we didn't get that fucking heated because we were mostly just talking Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. But WrestleMania season is a hot mess. If I didn't convey that enough last night, I'm conveying it right now. WrestleMania is a hot mess. And I don't even know if it can be put back on track with just 2 Raws left. Big Nang, 5-spot. Raw in Chicago, no Cody. Instead, CM Punk returns. Confirmed. Hashtag forbidden door. I'm guessing Vince is looking at CM Punk and the ratings that he's bringing in. I bet you Vince is laughing from ear to ear, man. I don't know. And that's not even shade to CM Punk, man. I love that he found his smile back and Punk is fucking, it looks like he loves pro wrestling again, so I'm on board. I've been speaking nothing but positive, actually, about Punk for the most part. Oddly, we've had a little beef in the past, but I've been speaking positively. But it's sad to see the ratings that he's pulling in or not pulling in. It's almost like, I mean, you look at his segments, a lot of them, and it's almost like people are just not interested. Not only is he not captivating, people are actually like flipping the channel. It's weird to see what happened to CM Punk. You have to wonder, is that just Tony Khan butched his booking for the most part? Because he's been involved in some good shit. The MJF storyline and a few other things, but how much of that is Tony Khan's doing? But Vince McMahon is probably seeing that and going, damn, it's a good thing we didn't offer him a shit ton of money. Because the CM Punk experiment is not quite working over in AEW. Big Nang with another 5-spot. Should be Orton versus Riddle at WrestleMania. Partner versus partner. Then post-Mania season, they lost the belts. One of them turns heel and feud for the next 6 months. Well, Big Nang, then you got to determine, why is Orton taking on Riddle, though? I mean, you're just taking a tag team and facing each other, or is there turmoil? In Big Nang's world, is there a storyline? Otherwise, I'd be down with that. You know, I don't want Orton even in a tag team, especially with Riddle, Big Nang. So I'm down with that shit. But you would have to tell the story. You know, why is Orton taking on Riddle with no turn and they're still champions? DB 2-spot. Randy, you can just ask for a title shot. Also, yeah, DB's talking about Orton last night. He said, he asked the Street Profits, you can't just win one match and think you get a title opportunity. That's not how it works around here. That was an exact quote. That's exactly how it works. In fact, DB took it a step further. DB said, not only do you have to just win one match, you could actually just ask for a title match in WWE and get it. So that's exactly how it fucking works. How funny is that, bro? DB, no doubt, man. Slamming Sammy Joe, 2-spot. Sneak attacking the champ will get you title shots. Exactly. Slamming Sammy Joe's taking it a step further, man. You don't even got to win a match. Just sneak attack the champion, and that'll transition into a title match. So DB slamming Sammy Joe, man. A little bit of exposing Randy Orton, man. He was funny last night. He was saying some just dumb shit. Orton's like, thank goodness we're in WrestleMania now that we have the tag titles. Bro, that was your only shot into WrestleMania? Was to be a tag title holder with Matt Riddle while Logan Paul is laughing at you in John Knoxville? Fury, 9,000 5-spot. You want to go to war? You want a war? You're gonna get one. One of the best segments, RIP. Scott Hall. Yeah, man. You want to go to war? I wish I could do that much better. You want to go to war? I used to be really good at Scott Hall's impressions, by the way, guys. I used to be really good back in the day. As Scott Hall kind of drifted off a little bit, and I had to put up with the last 10 years of this bullshit in pro wrestling, at least for Vince McMahon. My accents and my invitations now are over to the Drew McIntyres and the Nikki Ashes, the Almost Superheroes. Did you guys hear the news too? Nikki Ash wants to put together a group of almost superheroes, like a league, you know, like the League of Heroes, whatever it's called. It's going to be a league of almost superheroes. That's a true story. That's what she wants to do. Fuck that shit, bro. Anyway, Fury 9,000, no doubt, man. If I could do a better Scott Hall, I'd give you a little bit more, but I can't right now. National Toothpick Day, though, man. I've already fucking delivered a bunch of toothpicks today. So, yeah, guys, we're just remembering fucking Scott Hall today more than anything. We did go over the last couple of hours of Raw from last night, but this was mostly just paying more respects to Scott Hall. Dropping the news on Big E. If you're just joining, man, we dropped some news on Big E. And even though he doesn't need surgery, it's not as cookie cutter, easy peasy, he'll be back in no time type of a scenario. There's a good chance that Big E might never wrestle again, and we hope that's not the case, but so we went over Big E's thing as well, man. Just a weird 72 hours. You know, WrestleMania is now confirmed a hot mess. We might have lost Big E wrestling-wise for good. That C1 is nothing to fuck around with. And then we did lose Scott Hall, a fucking legit legend, right? We call everybody a legend in today's wrestling. We lost a legit legend in Scott Hall. It's just been a weird 72 hours. 72 hours of what the fuck? That's what I'm calling it. 72 hours of WTF, bro. Christopher Blackshear, $4.99. Monday night rematches came about again. Belair versus Doudrop for the 100th time, which JR9 Gaming 9 times in 4 months. How fucking insane is that? And Christopher says a Raw tag team schmaz for Mania. Why? Salute to Scott Hall. So let me give that, Christopher, let me give that proper salute, man. Scott, I know you can hear me, bro. Cut the shit with Kurt Hennig for 1 second. My man Christopher Blackshear is giving a salute. Salute to Scott Hall from Christopher. Appreciate that, Christopher. And to answer your question, why? The why is because of VKM. That's why you're getting all these rematches, especially for WrestleMania. Christopher, appreciate that, man. Dave Mealy, man, $9.99. You know you don't got to, bro. Dave Mealy put the channel on his fucking back this past week with fucking Hungy bangers, bro. Literally, tonight, I'm filling up the fridge with these type of coffees. So if I can't get hot coffees, if it's very early or I know I got a long live stream, I usually do these cold frappuccinos and fucking lattes, things like that. Iced coffees. So fucking Dave Mealy just packed the fucking fridge this week, bro. Dave Mealy, I appreciate that, man. Never needed, always appreciated, man. Dave's up in here again with a $9.99. Someone needs to tell Randy that if you really want a championship match, all you have to do is breathe on them. Dave, exactly. Just show up in the same ring. Sonya Deville will run out and go, this is a good idea. Fucking go out there and sneeze. You'll piss off Vince McMahon, but you'll get yourself a title shot. Dave Mealy, all seriousness, man. Thank you. And you know what, Dave? You sent so much fucking coffee over to the channel. Let me give a proper salute over to Scott Hall from Dave Mealy. Scott, again, hold on, man. He was going to kick out anyway. That wasn't even a proper DDT. A salute from Dave Mealy, Scott. Hey, Dave Mealy. I'm just the messenger on this, man. Good old Razor has this to say. He says, tell Dave I said this. Hey, you know that's respect when he flicks the toothpick at you. Guys, it's been a great hour and a half, man. Thank you, guys. Honestly, you guys always make this even a little bit better, man. As I try to comprehend things like what happened to Big E, things like what happened to Scott Hall. You know, pro wrestling's always been there since I was a little kid. And it's always going to be. It's just one of those things I'm always passionate and I love. And that's why I'll never stop watching, even when it sucks, which has been for almost 10 years. But things like this, man, it really brings everybody together, puts things into perspective. And it's cool to have platforms where we can just talk about it, come together and mourn together, try to make sense of it, even though you can't, but maybe lessen the blow a little bit. So I appreciate every single one of you guys, man. It's been a great fucking, it's been a great couple of streams with such harsh news. And I'm talking about even with the Big E thing on Friday, before even Scott Hall. We've come together and we've really smashed it out, man. And again, to the nearly 300 of you guys, even though I didn't mention it often, to the near 300 that took a moment to smash that up, man, the thousands that are about to click on this, they're going to see that we handle this probably the best way you can in this community. And that means a lot to me. So appreciate it, guys. I'm going to take off now. I will see you guys later in the week, man. There could be an impromptu tomorrow. Always stay subscribed and notified. I put out videos with no notice. I go live most of the time with no notice. Snap of a finger. I'm just like, I'm going live. So always stay subbed and notified anyway. And then I'm definitely going to try to hit an AEW Dynamite review for Thursday. So you can at least definitely try to look out for that. I always try to anyway. I never say 100% because BC's all over the fucking world. I got a lot of other things to do, not just wrestling talk. So I never want to confirm a video. But I think AEW Dynamite is going to be the next time that we shoot this shit. So thank you guys, man. And Ashley Steggles right at the 10 with a coffee, dude. Ashley, I appreciate that, dude. $8.99. AWO, throw it up and toothpick in the mouth. One more. Salute for the bad guy. AWO, Ashley Steggles is talking about the amplified world order. And that's in salute to Scott Hall. But Ashley, you bring up a damn good point too, man. We got to do it one more time for El Chico, the bad guy up there, bro. Another toothpick. Just for, I got a bunch, bro. I got a whole container of these motherfuckers. It's National Toothpick Day for Razor, bro. So I got one more. I'm going to throw this one up to the fucking skies, if you don't mind. I'm not going to throw this one at you guys. Jesse Borsler. Haven't seen Jesse in a minute. Jesse, what's up, dude? Jesse Borsler with that coffee. Congratulations to Vader on the Hall of Fame and RIP to Scott Hall. No doubt on the RIP, man. Much love, prayers, strength, all of that goes over to the family. Cody and Cassidy, his children, his family as a whole, man. Scott Hall, man. Yeah, that one hurts. And as far as Vader, Jesse Borsler, it was long overdue. He should have been in there when he was still on this earth. That pisses all of us off, while simultaneously it's good that he's at least getting that honor because it is way more than deserved. So Jesse Borsler, no doubt on both accounts, man. RIP to Scott Hall and a congrats to Vader and his family that will be inducting him. And I'm hearing Sid Justice might be the next one as well. Sid Vicious. So that'll be pretty cool to see Sid and Vader at the same time. We'll see how that actually plays out. Let me throw this up to Razor up high, man. Hey, yo. Hey, Chico. You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. You want the war? Oh, you're gonna get the war. Say hello to the amplified man. That one hit pretty fucking high, man. I think he knew that shit. He felt that shit. That's the utmost respect, man. Gonna miss that son of a bitch. Salute to all you guys, man. And one more to Scott Hall. Salute, man. Hey, Dizzy. Dizzy D, 2-spot. Love you, BC. And I loved Edge's entrance and promo. Much love and respect right back to you, Dizzy D. I appreciate that. And Edge, this is a fun fucking Edge, bro. This is going to be some shit going forward. This is an Edge that no longer cares about the fickle fans that want to boo everything he does, even though everything he does is fucking gold. Dizzy D, no doubt, man. One more for Scott, man. Thank you, dude, for everything. Thank you for the memories. BC, and I'm out.